Are we lying or telling the truth today? You see the topics. What does it feel like?
I'm here on this planet to profess truth.
I'm lying all day.
Why are you gonna lie for Diddy?
All I'm doing today is spreading misinformation.
Yeah,
not telling the truth.
yeah.
All the good things. That
She took his
podcasters
phone,
do.
didn't she?
Who?
Cassie.
I don't know who you're talking about.
He was just trying to get his phone back.
I haven't seen anything with that. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Damn, you didn't do your pre-pod research?
Who's Diddy? Who's Cassie?
Damn.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to the Industry Plans Podcast.
What is good? Episode 139.
Happy to be back
Whoa.
with y'all, man. Big pod vibes. I'm Miles. To my left, I got Osei. To my right, I got Spencer.
You're
Slowed up the intro for y'all one time. Made it a little bit smoother. Follow us on Instagram. Tags above us. How we living, guys?
good, man. Good. It's been a great weekend.
It has been a good weekend, actually. I was moving around a little bit yesterday. I felt good being outside. I wanted to move around with you today, but I'm not gonna. But it's been a over.
That's the kind of friend he is.
What you mean? I'm working. I'm doing art
Not
shit.
listening to stories. I'd love to hang out with you, but nah.
You saw me really want to hang out with you, and then
I know.
I had to. You know what
I
mean?
know. It's all good.
I love my friends. But yeah, I'm not all the way outside, but I was a little bit. It was a very good weekend. How was your weekend, I'll say?
It was a good weekend. I think the only time I stepped outside was yesterday.
Yeah.
Stepped outside with Spencer. Went to a beer garden to celebrate our friend Dylan. He's moving to New York.
Wow.
Shout out Dylan.
That was pretty cool. It was an interesting space because I thought it was going to be way more intimate, and it was this really big beer garden where we were all spread out. But I think we had really good conversation, especially toward the end of the night.
How do you feel about the LA to New York transition?
I'm happy for him. I
Yeah.
feel like, you know what I mean? I think they're much different worlds. But I think that Dylan is somebody that's going to thrive over there.
Do you see more people go from LA to New York or New York to LA?
I mean, LA to New York, but that's just because I know people that live in LA. You know what I mean? I don't know a ton of people in New York that are moving, you know?
Yeah. I guess people that move from there, though. You know, I guess I do know more people that have gone to New York, but I feel like it's a pretty even split. Honestly, I meet a lot of New Yorkers out here.
Yeah, me too.
Niggas like. I feel like you can't. I feel like people like to do summers over here and shit like that, or not. Not summers,
winters.
Winters.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. When it like be gloomy and shit outside. I don't know. We got some real rap to attend to. Are we gonna start off with beef and toxicity today?
Yeah, let's do it because I really love what's going on.
I think I do. So if you've been anywhere in hip hop news, you know that Vaughn and Joey Badass have been throwing shots at each other. It started off last year as a kind of general thing when Joey was, I think, getting back into the fold, dropping more music, getting back active again. And he did the overall diss to the West Coast. It felt like it was mostly directed at Kendrick Lamar. But I feel like there was some TDE strays in there.
You talking about the Rulers back?
Yeah.
That was top of this year, but yeah.
That was top of this year? Okay.
Yeah.
So he drops that, and I feel like that kind of started this whole thing. And then Vaughn, obviously, like knowing he's dropping a project this year, knowing that he's really trying to get his shit popping, you know, he's been announced as TDE. Everything's kind of starting to heat up for him.
Yeah.
And he's a really good rapper on top of that. He's like, oh, I'm gonna shoot back.
Mhm.
Didn't feel super like beef shit or anything like that. It just kind of felt like, okay, I'm gonna take my shot at this guy who's an established rapper, you know what I mean? And I think I could really go bar for bar with him.
Yeah.
Killed that shit, smoked it. The vibes weren't like hostile or anything like that. It's always been very playful or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, just competition shit. And I don't think Joey responded back to that until this past weekend, right? That was this freestyle.
So I think there's actually been more tracks that didn't catch a lot of virality or attention.
Yeah.
Like Daylight's been rapping at Joey Badass
I
3 or
heard
4
that, I heard
times.
that.
There's actually a lot more tracks, but yeah, I think mostly we heard the Vaughn thing and we didn't really hear Joey respond for a little bit.
Yeah, I think that Joey has kind of handled it well because he knows that Vaughn is punching up. So you do have to move careful because you also have to have a decent amount of respect for Vaughn as a talent.
Yeah.
So if you're going to truly engage, you got to like admit to the fact that this dude could go at you. And you don't want to get knocked off your pivot if you're Joey because now like you're the bigger artist in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, I seen someone talk about Joey like, yo, like he's trying to skip all the henchmen and go right to the boss fight. You know what I mean? It's like, nah, you can't just walk into the boss because Joey's punching up too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I'm saying.
And so Joey has to fight all the little minions if he wants that
He
battle. with
doesn't,
Kendrick.
but you don't have to do that because it's
I
like
think
it's like
you do.
strategically. It's like in real life boxing, you know.
Yeah.
You do when you're a star have to pick your fights. Like when you're Gervonta Davis, you can't just go fighting any nobody.
Yeah.
Because if you slip up and something happens, that could like fuck up the next fight you want. If you really want to challenge someone,
Yeah.
you got to do the right things. And I think if Joey called out Kendrick in a crazy way, like the Ruler's back was a good like jab,
Yeah.
but he wasn't really swinging. If he would have really swung for the fences and done something, I think Kendrick probably wouldn't have responded still because I think he's off that vibe.
Yeah.
But I think it would have been like something that maybe would have gotten a little more traction. With
I think
the big dog.
there's no world in which Kendrick responds to Joey Badass.
I agree.
He just doesn't have the
There's no
time.
world.
I agree.
It's a waste of his time right now. Not because Joey's not a big artist, but just because he has like the tour. Obviously, he just came off some beef shit. Like I think he's off the beef vibe now.
He already beat the boss.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no
Like,
point.
yeah.
There's no point in Kendrick to engage in any sort of battle right now.
Will he ever engage in a rap battle again?
I don't think he should. He won the biggest one in history.
Yeah, I think he's good.
Yeah.
I think I'd be off it too.
I
Yeah,
agree with
resume
you.
stamped.
I think he's done with it. You know, he's about to be 40 in a couple of years. Like,
Yeah.
there's no point in rap battling nobody anymore. But with this, Joey then got on a cypher with Ab-Soul and Big Sean.
Yep.
Big Sean did what Big Sean does. Ab-Soul killed that shit.
Yeah.
I really, really fuck with it. It's always good to see Ab rapping. He looks good. He looks like he's in good spirits. That's amazing for him. Shout out to him. And then Joey had the closing verse.
Yeah.
And him and Ab, who's obviously TDE, had a little bit of back and forth in the thing, but again, playful.
Mm-hmm.
All that shit. It wasn't super aggressive.
Never.
And then Joey kind of makes his shots at the whole TDE again. General, I don't think he called out Ray specifically, no? Or did he? No, he did mention Ray.
Yeah.
He did say Ray.
He name
Vaughn.
dropped.
Yeah, he did name drop Ray. And right after that, Ray then dropped a diss track that was a banger.
Yeah, that's Ho Era.
Yes, with some upbeat like instrumentals. He was rapping aggressive. That was my shit.
Dropped it the day after too.
Yeah.
Dope.
Red-
I think he mentioned Red Bull.
Locked
as
and
well.
loaded.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said like what did he say about Ab-Soul? Standing next to Ab-Soul, not gonna save yours.
Yeah.
Fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also he's doing the whole Trump shit where he's like calling this dude Hoey now. You know what I mean? And like branding your enemy with like a degrading nickname.
I don't
Is
like that.
The only way you refer to him. I don't really like it either.
Why don't you guys like that? I feel like I've heard that opinion floating around too. To me, it's funny.
Hoey is not. It feels juvenile.
Yeah,
Childish.
I think that. I mean, I also think if you're punching up, you do things that are like, to catch attention.
But like, you don't need to. He has more energy than Joey.
Mm-hmm.
His music caters to a more upbeat outside. Like it might get played more in certain environments. I think he has so many other advantages. You don't have to resort to the kind of more childish shit.
I mean, it's a good tactic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It is an effective tactic. We've seen it in the election. We've seen how it works with our country.
I mean, shoot,
It just feels nasty.
even over. And here's what I don't like. OV Ho. Was
Yeah.
obviously the Kendrick thing,
Yeah.
which was, I think, cheeky, whatever it does, it accomplished what it needed to. And then I think that with Ray, the production on this, while I love it, it does kind of sound similar to Not Like Us.
Yeah.
Or like TV Off. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
in that sentiment, and then you're doing the Hoey thing. It's like,
He's got a peekaboo flow.
there's too many things I can compare this to that I feel like are a little bit better. I don't think you need that, because everything else about what his approach I love.
But isn't Ray Vaughn from the West Coast or no?
I don't know where he's from. Yeah, I think he's from LA, right?
Yeah.
So if he's from LA, then realistically he's just tapping into like a sound that he's grown
I like-
around.
I love
you're
the-
allowed to
So,
use your home
I
court
fuck
advantage.
with it. I fuck with it.
So
I like it.
I understand everything. The only thing that I really understand is like maybe the Hoey thing where you're like, calling someone a nickname that feels childish.
I love all the other
but
shit.
everything else, like,
I think that's good.
to be honest, is stuff that he can co-opt.
I think it's good. I just don't think it's super original, but I think it's done excellent. I think it's done 10 out of 10.
But
and I fuck with it.
Before we get all the way into it, let's finish the timeline, right? Because then 2 days later, we get the finals
Yes.
from Joey Badass, which it seems like that's the internet's favorite track so far of the battle.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that in a second. But then after that, Reason inserted himself into this conversation and dropped like a 5-minute song with like 3 separate beats.
Yeah, I didn't listen.
I did. It was cool.
Your name can't be Reason, big dog. I'm gonna just be honest with you. That's a bad name. What is that brother knowledge ass name, bro?
Bro.
That shit is trash.
But see, Miles, you can't do that, bro. You got to speak to the music. You can't just be dissing people's names.
All right, what's the music sound like? Just as good as that trash ass name. I'm sorry.
I can't say that I listen,
Sleepy
so I
ass
can't
music,
tell
bro.
you. But
I'm so sorry. And Reason is not bad. Let me just. You're frustrating, bro. Because why does all the songs sound the same? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not talking about Reason. Why the fuck? You see what you did? Don't give me pushback on my Reason hate. Let me just hate.
I'm just saying, on a music podcast, you got to speak to the music, bro.
I did, bro. Niggas know how Reason sounds, bro.
Spencer was about to get into the music, and then you went on some, Reason's name sounds dumb.
Because niggas don't need to be talking about Reason, bro.
Because Miles, I feel like with Miles, like there's a barrier to entry. Like he's not even gonna consider your music if he finds you corny as a person.
Yes,
Like, I think there
definitely.
are things that will just make it so the music will never connect for Miles, no matter how good it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
It takes a lot to get over that. I'm trying to think of another example besides that.
IDK.
Uh,
Don't lie. You won't listen to none of that man's music.
No,
and
what's
he
it
has some
called?
slaps.
He has some
what's the
great
song?
music.
Dog
Yeah.
Food is cool, and what's the other one? Peloton.
Peloton's dope.
Yeah, he got 2 songs in my library.
Both those albums are dope though.
Yeah,
He is, and then the Cenat shit that he did.
I heard them shits though.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you for a second. But back to the beef. Back to the beef. Before we get into track specifics, how do you guys feel about the beef for hip hop and this narrative going around? Do you think it's beneficial or do you think it's like negative?
I like it. This is the way it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? And I don't think there's been anything said or done that feels like it's gonna go past a certain point and have real life consequences. I feel like this is what hip hop was built on, and like, I don't know. I'd love for it to continue.
I feel like it's opening my eyes up again and making me fall in love with the genre a little bit. Because to me, my knee-jerk reaction to this is like, do people care? Because I was of the mindset that backpack rap and all that stuff was just not what people really wanted right now. But as I'm seeing the last beef go off, Doechie's album do well, now this beef doing well, it's like, it feels like this is just another step in the resurgence of rap kind of getting back mainstream. And now we're not even calling on like the biggest like traditional stars. We're calling on people who are really talented technical rappers.
Yeah.
And doing things like the cypher, doing things like you said, not getting aggressive with it in like a violent sense, you know, keeping it all to the music. Like the way that it's unfolding, I like.
That's my take too. It seems like the first time I've seen like a true space be carved out for the future of rapping.
Yeah.
Not just hip hop culture and hip hop genre, but like the actual sport of rapping.
Yeah.
And I love when rappers rap. You guys know this about me. I love rap music. So like to see, you know, this is how this genre actually is perpetuated and lives on, because this is a great opportunity for Vaughn. This is a great opportunity for Reason. People that we were always like, oh yeah, Vaughn's dope, super dope, but this might not work. He might have missed his era. But if this culture comes back where, you know, big dogs are feuding, so kind of the henchmen get to, you know, throw jabs and get an opportunity to like put their name in this mix, like that's just good for the entire sport. Because now you could get some New York people also chiming in. You know what I mean? Some underground, developing lyrical New York people that could get an opportunity off this beef too.
That is what's kind of weird to me. I haven't seen New York really jump in like the West Coast has in participation with this. And I think that is because Joey, when he went away and started doing the acting stuff, like he wasn't in close proximity, I feel like, to a lot of the young boys.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know if any of the New York rappers I can think of really operate in this space either.
It feels like a weird time for New York hip hop to me.
I think New York hip hop goes through weird waves of like popping off and then it's kind of quiet. Because
Who's
like
out
specifically for this one, it's like, and this might just be my ignorance, but I can't really think of a single person that would jump in this besides maybe like the Griselda guys. You know,
and
what
they're
I mean?
Buffalo,
Like,
you know, like it's. I feel like
they're
they're
a little
doing their
older.
own thing.
Yeah, they got their own space going on. Like I'm trying to think of like a young, like up and coming New York rapper that would, I don't know, either assist Joey or go at Vaughn or like go at a West Coast rapper. Like I just don't see it right now.
I don't either.
So
And that's why I say it's in a weird place. I felt like it had a lot of momentum when Dro was kind of popping off. But I do think like with the loss of Pop Smoke, I think that whole genre, subgenre slowed down a lot. You
But
guys think
even-
that's right?
Yeah, I agree with all that, but I'm also just like, even if he was around, you know, even if that genre stayed up, I don't think any of them would have participated in something like this. Like I'm really like, is there no real like true lyricists out there right now? Because that's not to down a nigga like a Cash Cobain or whatever, you know, like all the people that are doing their own like sexy drill movement, but that's just not like bars.
I just love the moment when Cash Cobain, I'm forgetting the exact words, but he was basically like, bro, I'm not gonna freestyle.
Yeah.
Like for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
XXL Cypher.
Yeah.
Like, cause it's so funny to me because I'm like, bro, he really is like, yo, that's not what I do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I don't know what other artists like actually do that. You know? I kind of hope that somebody could like reference us to one.
You know Lim, Liim.
No.
Yeah, you do. You put a song by him on the weekly rotation.
Lim?
Yes.
Liim.
Yes, you literally put a song on
What
the
song?
weekly rotation by him. Or Liam, how you say his name? I'm not gonna go on my phone.
I don't know,
right now,
but
you
see,
did
like,
that.
I don't think they have anyone right now. But here's just while we're on this little New York aside.
J1.
J1. I think if Pop Smoke was alive, he would do something like this.
No.
I do. I do think if people were shooting in New York and there's this entire West Coast wave that's like taking over, it's obvious this is where all the energy, all the momentum is. I think Pop Smoke would get involved.
I mean, I was like, why? Like, I feel like he was on some like he was getting more into like the singing bag, like the having fun shit, like vibey stuff. Like, I feel like he's not the type to engage in this back and forth lyrical shit. But he does have that little bit of 50 Cent in him that makes me think he might. But I don't necessarily see that for him off jump.
Yeah, I would say same. I don't necessarily see it. Not that he doesn't have the potential to, but that didn't seem to be his vibe or his bag necessarily.
I think he could body it though. But like that's what I'm saying. Also, like he was a real drill rapper. Like I feel like if he got in that mode, he might start talking some grimy shit. And like he really comes from that.
Yeah.
And these niggas are like, and that's what I'm saying. This is not that.
Yeah.
This is very calm.
Yeah. Okay, but we can get off of Pop Smoke and get back to the battle. What's been your guys' favorite track so far?
The Vaughn one.
Hoera?
Hoera.
Yeah, that's mine too, bro. Just some of the bars. You know, skeletons in my closet, playing Bone Thugs, put the whole Pro Era on a pro club.
And I think I can't lie. I think it is it's the production for me, because I will say that I think that I've moved away from the traditional lyrical rap bag and the production that goes along with it.
Yeah.
So I want something that's gonna make me feel high energy and feel the sentiment of the music a little more, rather than something that I just gotta kind of just sit there and analyze and just like look at more as like strategic than enjoyment, you know?
Yeah.
That being said though, from a technical standpoint, I do think the finals is more impressive.
Yeah, that's a new take from you.
It just doesn't move me as much as the other one.
On stream you said it wasn't more impressive.
I know, but
you went back?
I'm not gonna lie. Like, while that's not what I'm looking for,
yeah,
and what I prefer in a diss, it'd be stupid to say that he wasn't, like, he had bars on that, you know?
Yeah, he went crazy on the finals, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think this whole thing is so smart on Vaughn's part.
Yeah.
You know, because I texted y'all, like, they've had that track in the tuck for like months at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they knew that at some point Joey was going to respond, and then they were just going to drop that. And we've seen, like, the past decade, the track that wins a rap battle is the more danceable club track, to be honest. And I feel like while I've seen some criticism of our review in terms of just like Joey's song being like more lyrical, more well put together, the finals just being a better song overall, I think Vaughn, like we've all said, has nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And I just think like if he's able to get a club banger that DJ spin like occasionally at parties out here,
yeah,
he's won, bro. Because he's an up and coming artist, bro. This is all marketing for his project,
and it feels more like a moment. Yeah, it just feels like, again, it's an energy thing at that certain point, because both of them are good technical rappers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so it's like you're not going to get one on some bullshit. So he combines a good lyrical track with the energy. You're probably going to pick that, even though Joey's might have been like still very, very impressive.
Yeah,
like I don't think he's knocked out.
Yeah, I don't think he's knocked out either.
No,
I just love that this is a moment. I'm so happy this is a moment, because I feel like when this first started, we were like, oh, okay, Vaughn and Joey Badass, nobody gives a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, we just had Kendrick Drake. But to see this actually become really relevant and people talk about it and it be in the zeitgeist, it's really cool to me.
When do we get another up and coming person?
What you mean?
Does this no beef? Like, I'm thinking now about the genre as a whole and the space as a whole.
Yeah.
I think that while we have eyes on this type of music, who's going to be the up and coming new artist who kind of takes this sound and like popularize it, kind of like Doechii, like even remix the Doechii formula, but like be heard 5 years ago, you know, like just start to come up and use what's happening now to get a little bit of buzz. I think that there's some people who could really benefit from this. And again, like, I think I want my perception to change, because this is the music that I came up loving, but I don't think it's at the forefront of the next wave of rap, but I would love to see it become a bigger part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'd love to see people who do it without a beef. But right now, I'm excited about this because this seems like the most concrete, actual way for someone to pop off.
Yeah, 100%.
You know? And like, as long as it's sport, which it is clearly between Joey and Ray.
Wow.
That was like the one thing that I didn't like was Daylight posting capital Steez.
Yeah, that was super weird.
It's like, we don't need to go there. Like, this has been like really cordial and like dope to see people just rapping. Yeah. You know? So like, it doesn't need to go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know who the next one is. Do you have a name?
I don't. I really don't, honestly.
I'm a big fan of My Name Isn't J-Mac. and what he's doing,
He's really
and
good.
seeing him go through the European tour with Tommy Richmond, and his new project is super fire. He's got a cool look. He's really talented. I'd love to see him have some motion.
I don't think I would call him like a battle rapper though. I don't think he would step into that arena from what I've seen.
Well, it doesn't even have to be battle rap. I'm just thinking more like lyrical rap, you know, like this backpack rap type style.
Okay.
Someone who I think kind of is adjacent to this, but I think is gonna maybe get like, and again, already established big star, but I think when they drop a project, it could really make some noise. And this is gonna be like a left of center one. I think Dave right now, with the wave of like lyricism going on, Central C obviously just dropped his project, and like that wave plus the British underground.
Yeah,
I feel like just like an amalgamation of everything going on right now could really lead to like a really, really dope Dave project. I know that he's already one of them.
Yeah.
But just like, I'm just trying to think of something that like, something new that's going to shake up the space.
I think the culture is in a place where it'd be really receptive of a great Dave project,
You know?
and he might finally get his like superstar moment, which would be because I was upset that he didn't drop after that EP with Central C, because I felt like that was probably the most eyes he ever had on him with Sprinter, you know what I mean? And just like he was like gassing Central on all that shit. Like Central was holding his own, but I think you can't listen to that and not be like, wow, this dude Dave is different.
He's a monster. He's
You
a
know?
monster. And he's 20, he's like what, 26 now, I think, 27?
Yeah.
Like he's still really, really young. I think he's gonna do something crazy. Young Bull's out here. Yeah, I mean, like Overcast is dropping an album that he's promoting. I think that could be really, really good. I like his music.
I like Overcast too.
Would you say like Red Veil is more in this space?
Red Veil, maybe. I love Learn to Swim.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't loved the EPs and like the music since as much, but I think he's enormously talented. And again, someone who's so early, like you never know what his potential is.
I could see Samara Sin.
Samara Sin for sure.
I've been really fucking with her for the past like year and a half, and she's actually getting a lot of momentum. I think the look with Smino and the tour has been great for her. And I feel like she could catch a body too. Like she can really rap and can be kind of like vicious. I feel like she could do this.
I think she would.
Yeah.
I think she would. I think the path to success for her though is gonna be, she be singing a little bit.
Yeah, you do both. You don't pick one. You should do both.
I just don't. I'm thinking of what is Samara, because who would she beef with? I feel like she never. But again, beef. That we're not talking about beef.
Shoot it. Fuck it. Shoot at Doja Cat.
You know, never.
Bro, tell me that wouldn't be fire. Shoot at Lotto.
Nah, I don't think.
Use the same strategy.
Lotto would be random. Doja Cat to me is like a funny one because like she's in line with like Doja Cat. She kind of sounds like Smino too. Like it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know?
I would love to see that. I'd be all the way tuned in for that beef. That could be the exact same thing as what we're seeing right now.
No,
but I think you also need a reason.
No, it's not.
I think you also need a reason why.
Guys, there's no.
And I don't think you can just jump out the gate and be like, "Yo, fuck you."
Yeah, you need a reason.
You need a reason.
That would never ever happen. Ever. That's crazy.
Why?
Doja is a super superstar.
Yeah.
And it's not even the fact that she's like bigger than Samara. It's just like, why would she have beef with her? Why would anyone beef with her?
I don't know.
On either end.
You could say that about anyone. Why would
feel like
anyone
they
have
don't-
beef with Joey Badass?
I feel like they don't do, but I feel like that's not how I've seen women traditionally move in the type of music that both of them make.
But you don't think they're taking cues of what's working on the male side of lyrical rap and how people are coming up? Like, I think it's very apparent that a beef is an incredible way to catapult your career if you're a developing artist.
I think that we've seen it though, and I don't think it's necessarily worked. The only time that because like Nicki Minaj and Cardi beefed, and I know Nicki dropped songs, and I don't think any of them really moved. So I feel like in like the female rap space, that's not really the path to success. And I don't do, even for like an artist of any level.
I would disagree. I wouldn't know who Remy Ma was if it wasn't for the beef. To be honest.
Type. Hey,
You know what I mean? Like
Samara, go shoot at Lotto, Doja Cat, all them. Y'all see Lotto on Ty Lil stream?
I did.
You be watching that shit?
I scroll on TikTok and I get it unwillingly. So
Did that look like a room you wanted to be in?
Not in particular.
I sat down and I was like, let me go see this. Let me go watch what goes on these streams. You know, I'll be clicking around on the shit. And I think I just watched them. Niggas just ate food and just like, I had like very like minimal conversation, and Tyler was just playing his friend's music in the background.
All right, wait, hold up. But before we get too much in the hating realm, shout out Ty Lil, bro.
I'm not hating.
I do feel like that, like, I didn't watch the stream and I just saw it this morning, like, pop up on my For You page, but some of the clips are kind of funny. I think the whole, like, streaming with artist stuff is like an interesting alternative to the interview lane. I don't know what it accomplishes for the artist, but I think if they were just going on to have a good time and have discussions, like I think that it accomplishes purpose because it was funny.
I think it humanizes them, and I think that it's best consumed in the form of clips, not watching the long form content all the time. But I was gonna say that I also do just prefer when the streamers interact with each other and like do that type of thing. I mean, I guess we can kind of get into like the Cenat streamer university thing.
Yeah,
we've literally seen that, and I think it's crazy that he's kind of giving them all a platform like that. There's been some funny discourse around how he's setting it up and how it turned out. But I think that that's going to work because you have people who all do this and are coming on the same timing around each other. So like they're going to know how to play into the content and do it up. More so than I think artists are. I feel like artists are kind of like more chill and just always want to do calm shit. So I feel like it's always the same type of content conversation most of the time when I tune into those streams. But why didn't we apply for Cenat's Streamer University, guys? I sent it in the chat.
Why didn't you apply then?
Because I didn't feel the enthusiasm.
You needed us?
I needed y'all.
I'm not a streamer yet, bro.
But we do.
And
stream.
Kai made it pretty clear that they had to be streamers already.
We stream weekly on Twitch. Subscribe down below. New Music Fridays.
You're right. You're right, Miles. It was a miss.
We should.
But I also am holding you accountable for that miss because you didn't fill out the application that you sent.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I don't think we would have got picked anyways. I saw the way it went down, and it didn't seem like we fit the criteria exactly.
No. What was the criteria?
Well, one, black.
Yeah.
So I think you would have been a knock against us.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it because I didn't want to come in here and say.
I thought we were a black-owned company.
We're trying to be.
I
don't know what we're doing.
I think the majority ownership might have gone to the stream.
He said, "I'll take two of you, but not Spencer."
Yeah.
No, I don't want to spread that narrative because I think he got a couple of different people, but it did seem like there was a lot of content creators of color, which I think is dope. And I think that anyone that was hating on him for that, it's like, you guys are fucking stupid. He's creating a place for these people who have had like, it's equity versus equality type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not mad at him using his platform to lift up the people that he supports.
No, it's fire.
Yeah, it's fine. But then I think the thing that I do maybe understand why people have an issue with is they feel like they're already established streamers.
I think if you're Kai right now, you're putting people on a platform and giving people an opportunity for sure, but you're also doing what makes the most sense from a business perspective. I think when he bought the house for his friends, they really made it that narrative that he was putting people on, but he also knew that house was going to be successful. And calling it the AMPG League and spreading that name and all that different type of stuff, that is a branding activity. You know what I mean? Yes. And I think the Streamer University thing needs to catch and needs to push everything he's doing forward. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense from a business perspective. They're probably pouring millions of dollars into this.
And what I was thinking when I was first like, because I did have an issue with it at first, but then I sat back and I thought about it, and it's like, he has a really good grasp on the space.
Yeah.
And what it's like to obviously be the biggest and the opportunities that come with that and the money and brand deals and all that and what those numbers look like, right? And I don't think that the goal of this was to give a platform to have these brand new or super early streamers get catapulted to the level of the people that he invited on. It's to invite those kind of higher level people that are about to break through and make them mainstream. You know what I mean? Those kind of established content creators, because then you still are giving them a platform because the average person doesn't know about them and maybe hasn't seen their clips.
That's why I kind of have a different perspective. I feel like it's like there are like 2 to 6 streaming like stars that are like household names. Like there's still like very few of them. You know what I mean? And I scrolled through the list of the 50 or 60 students that he's admitting. I didn't know any of their names. I knew none of those streamers. So by the time this is over, 2 or 3 of them are probably going to get a moment and have some viral clips. I'm probably going to know 2 or 3 of them. So I think he is doing a good job at putting people on.
I agree.
You know? Because did you know anyone that is a student? Like who?
That girl, Mari. She does like reactions to albums sometimes.
Cool.
Because I think that's where I see a lot of the streamers. Because I do just click like reaction content for a lot of music stuff specifically. And even though that's not these people's main form of content, they like know about the space. So like they'll like do a video for it, you know, because it'll go. But I think she was one. And if I like pull up the list, like I know a couple others, but it's good people. It is going to be entertaining.
For sure. I know one personally. His name's Zeddy Will.
Yeah, he makes music too.
Yeah, he went to my old high school and then
Yeah.
also went to Howard. So he's just like kind of like around the DMV area. And like I feel like it was a really dope thing to see him on the list because he's collaborated with Kai and like Tylea and all those people,
Yes.
especially when they were in New York. But this is really him taking the next step in that aspect of his career toward becoming like an actor, a musician, a streamer, all that stuff. And I feel like it's putting him on a bigger platform, even though he already has one. You
And
know
he
what I
gets
mean?
the viral. He goes viral on TikTok a lot with his
For
songs.
sure, definitely.
He's gonna be good. Fucking I'm blanking now again, but yeah, there's a lot of that dude Jay Cinco. You know what I mean? Like all
Yeah.
these people who like maybe you've seen one clip of and you don't even know who it is, but you saw it on your timeline. Those level of people are gonna get on this and are probably gonna really get the chance to show their talents, be really engaging. And I think it's gonna be an entertaining watch. I actually want to see it. I'm interested to see how much money he's poured into it too.
Yeah.
Because I know that shit was not cheap.
Mm-hmm.
This shit
Definitely
is
not.
going to be really, really done up. I'm interested to see like this shit is becoming TV now.
Yeah.
It's literally reality TV. It's taking over like all these other platforms. And like, I think this could be a step in really showing the future of this.
Yeah.
And like how big of a budget and how big of a production this could be.
Totally.
I'm
It's
kind of
super dope.
surprised that Mr. Beast didn't do this first.
I mean, you seen Hood Mr. Beast. That's what he's focused on.
That's what he's on right now.
I seen this nigga flexing mad money and shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
I guess there was do you see the meme going around?
No.
I guess there was a meme of Hood Mr. Beast going around, and then he played into it and like got the chain and took a picture with a bunch of money in front of a private jet.
All right.
Basically, a character that has a fade and is holding money and has earrings.
Got it.
That looks like Mr. Beast.
Hood
was the
Mr.
meme.
Beast.
They niggified Mr. Beast and said Hood Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
But we're okay with that. What are we gonna go next? Cultural appropriation, I
yeah,
guess.
I thought you were gonna walk right into that, but you know about who we're not okay with?
No. So Sailorr dropped an album,
Mhm.
and I think that we all are very big fans of her and the music and everything. And I think that me and Osei, interestingly enough, had a heated exchange the other day because I was right and he was wrong, as typical. But he was like, "Do you take issue with what Sailor's doing?"
Mhm.
And obviously, you know what I mean. I think that when you say something like that, it's like, what do you mean? That's such a big picture question. But I think that Sailorr making R&B music, the type of stuff that she does, some of her influences that she's cited, she's obviously a very big fan of Black music, Black culture,
Mhm.
and has now been integrated into the scene through her music. And so for me as a fan and as like a Black person, obviously I know that that's going to come up. And just knowing the way people are. But I never really went that deep on it because whenever she's been given the opportunity to speak, is very articulate and just doesn't give off the vibe of someone that needs to leech onto someone else's identity. She feels very unique in her perspective and the way that she's portraying herself, even though like maybe musically some of her influences are really clear.
Mhm.
And they are Black women.
Yeah.
So I never took issue with this, but then your perspective was a little bit different than mine.
Yeah, no, I just want to start by saying I re-listened to the project. I think it's a really good project.
Yeah.
I think it is really good. I think I said this before, her writing is one of a kind. I feel like it's super unique in that, yeah, I understand the SZA Summer Walker comparisons, but I think the perspective is younger.
Yeah.
It does like feel like a girl's road trip around Florida. I did like see that headline and I feel that vibe. And I think she's really creative too. I think she's really creative. Definitely like, I think we see a lot of people like come in and make music, right? It feels like she's really an artist.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm getting that point across. But
I agree.
It feels like that. I think what I really take issue with is I do feel, well, let me also say this.
Yeah.
Sailorr is really smart.
I was going to say, you got to come with the smoke.
Like Sailorr is really smart and really intelligent. Yeah. And I think that's more where I take issue with her is that I think that
you take issue with the fact that she's smart.
God forbid they be smart.
I think that I take issue with the fact that I know that she's smart and I know that she's pandering in a lot of different instances.
How is she pandering?
So this is why I say she's smart, because I feel like when she came on the scene, right, it was Pookie's Requiem.
Yeah.
It was the From the Block performance.
Yeah.
And she referenced the Rush Hour, Chris Tucker, Jackie Chan moment in Rush Hour 2, where they like open up the curtains. So basically they go to like a massage parlor.
Yes.
And the woman's like, oh, you want to see the women, whatever? And then she opens up
Yes.
the curtains and there's mad Asian woman in the back.
Yes.
And then she's on From the Block doing the same thing and performing.
Yes.
I think that's one way where I'm like, okay, like I understand like the reference and that's really smart, but you know that you're coming on From the Block because you know that you're not going to be seen. You're going to be seen in that same light. It's like, who is this Asian girl on From the Block? Traditionally black platform. Like, that's something you're going to be
I don't
seeing.
think that's a tradition.
No. Whoa. What the fuck?
It definitely is.
Yo, whoa.
It definitely is.
I've seen a Robin Thicke From the Block.
Yeah, now everyone does.
I think
it,
anyone,
but
exactly. That's why I
it
think
did start as like a hip hop thing.
It started, but I think where it's at now, and where it's been for months, is anyone could do it From the Block.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like. I think it's for everybody.
But that's a black platform.
It is. I'm not
So,
saying.
but you know she's gonna get visibility on that doing that, making the reference, which I'm saying is smart.
More so, what I'm saying is just anyone would be doing that too.
Yeah.
But I think
Anyone
what Jose
making
is saying is that's somewhere you go to speak to a black audience.
Okay.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
So I get the angle. I'm like, okay, like I understand. Like that's low key on some like 3D like fucking like reference, right? Because you're referencing Rush Hour, where honestly the scene was kind of weird because it's a room full of Asian women, even though they're in Hong Kong, and you're like basically doing the same thing and being like, "Hey, what's up? I'm here," and I see this woman with what I perceive as a black hairstyle and grills in. And then I do more research on the grills. I'm like, what is this? I don't really understand it. Why is she wearing black grills? And I'm like, okay, this is like a Vietnamese and like Japanese tradition where like people are painting over their teeth because it was either spiritual or like a mark of beauty.
Okay.
And she's mixing it in with the grills. So I'm like, okay, that's an interesting concept too. I'm like, all right, how do I feel about this? Because I do feel like while she's making a reference to her culture, it also feels like she's pandering with the grills, but I couldn't put it into words. I couldn't think about it. I couldn't think about why. Because besides the hairstyle, which is, she's got baby hairs in, that's like clearly a black woman hairstyle. I'm like, why do the grills bother me? And then I looked at other references and I was like, okay, so Suki Baby has done the same thing. The girl that was on Drake's album cover, and then Molly Santana's done the same thing. Yeah. But what is the difference between these artists?
They're all three of them are Asian. The other two are just black and Asian.
Exactly.
But
that was where I realized what my whole problem with Sailorr is. She is not a black woman. She is not a black woman occupying the space of R&B and portraying herself with features that are traditionally black women
But
features.
you literally just said that the grills is paying homage to fucking Asian culture. And the only other people that are doing the black grills are also of Asian descent.
Yes, you answered my question. They're black and Asian.
No, but they're
so the
doing the black grills.
combination of the two ideas makes sense. It's actually very clever. Whereas when Sailorr does it, it's like, all right, like we get you're from Florida, but you still got grills in. We know what you're doing.
But but it's paying homage to Florida and her Asian heritage. Those are the two most important.
Yeah. So in Florida, when you go down there, I would assume it's mostly black people wearing grills. No.
Yeah. The same way that when you go to like fucking Houston, that mostly black people wear grills, but Paul Wall wore grills.
Did I ever say I was okay with Paul Wall?
But you can't have it. The culture accepts Paul Wall. Black people, you do not speak for all black people.
This is, hey, right? I didn't come here to say that I was speaking for all black people. Okay. I came here to express my opinion.
Yes.
I don't care for Paul Wall. I don't care for Sailorr in terms of what she's doing. Like I said, I think she's really smart. I think that the music is good. I would like her to stop pandering. And honestly, again, I know you don't like this word, but blackfishing, because that's really what she's doing.
Yeah, but
she's portraying herself as ethnically ambiguous or a black woman.
She's not.
I don't think she is.
She's so clearly Asian.
And she's hinting to these things. Not even, and that's why
you heard her speak. You're not even going off what she's speaking.
And that's why I think she's so smart, because I'm like, you're not even doing it in the way that Ian's doing it, right? Like Ian is like, hey, I'm white. I'm gonna wear the button-down shirt and shorts, but I'm gonna rap like Gucci. You're doing it in a more subtle way that really is more of reference points to people. It's like, I don't know why I like this, but I do. When I looked at when I was listening to the song "Will You Lie," I was like, this is probably my favorite song on the project. Mm-hmm. And then I went and watched an interview where she was talking, and I was like, damn, this seems like a nice girl. You feel me? And I listened to her talking about "Will You Lie," and she was like, yeah, like this song is inspiration from a Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin interview where Nikki Giovanni is talking about where she's talking about basically, yeah, lie to me if you're in love with me. Like, why do I want to hear the truth?
Yo.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, another reference to black culture that's like so subtle. I'm like, why do I like this? Because I've seen it before.
But that's why I think that what you're saying really, really gets me hot and is like so problematic because everything that she's saying and the way that she's handling all of this is acknowledging. And again, I love her response in the interview that we watched. I wish I could say the platform because she's literally saying like people like you are entitled to their opinions, can have their opinions, whatever.
I'm glad that I can have my opinion.
You know what I mean? Like it's like, but again, she's like, but I think that why she said it so eloquently, why it's important. She said it is like, I'm not trying to convince you. And I think that that's really dope because she's like, you can stand in this completely because it's not my decision to make for you. So I think that that's dope that she acknowledged that, you know? And I think it's necessary for people who want to like really, really come at it in an aggressive way. But I think that the way that she's gone about citing her resources, showing love to the people that have actually inspired her, then actually acknowledging where she's from. Because like you said, there's a majority of black people in the communities that I think that she's around in Florida. I think she's grown up around black people and seen black people. You can't take that from her. You can't deny that part. So I think that this person who authentically grew up around black people and is paying respect and homage to black people in a creative, tasteful way, and then when she gets on these platforms is also speaking about these people and putting the general public on to these very important black figures, I don't think putting these harsh terms like blackfishing and all this other stuff on her is productive because she's actually being an ally to the community. Whereas there's so many other people that are doing negative things, and 100% she's acknowledged the fact that the space that she's occupying could be filled by a black woman. And I think that we would love that to happen. And I think it still can. I think that we both work in the music industry, and I can't point to anyone who I think she's taken a spot of or who's trying to do this, but Sailor's stopping them or getting in their way.
People said Coco Jones.
You know what I'm saying? It's not, because the music is completely different.
I know, I agree.
You know?
I'm just telling you what Twitter said.
Yeah, I agree. I feel you. That shit is just so unproductive to me. I don't know. Do you not see like her doing like what she's doing as positive?
I don't think when she's wearing curlers in her hair in the Pookie's Requiem remix video with Summer Walker that's productive. I think that's also another mark to what I'm saying is pandering to black culture.
Curlers?
Black
like
white women wear curlers in their hair.
No, that's a black thing.
Curlers? I don't think so, bro. I think that's a hair thing.
That's not a black thing?
Black women wear curlers in their hair, but so do white women, because that's just the way that they want their hair to look when it's in those styles. Black women, my mother grew up my whole life wearing those every single night, but that's the style that she had her hair in when she went to work. That's just what she did, you know what I mean? But any white woman with that same style would have to do the same thing. It's straight hair. My mom's hair is not straight, but she wore curlers. Like, what do you mean?
I'm confused.
Curlers is not exclusive to black people.
You don't think so?
To wear curlers, yeah. I know again we're over analyzing this again.
Yeah.
To wear curlers, you have to have straight hair.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think curlers are inherently made for people that don't have curls.
Yes.
The point is to curl your hair.
Yes.
So you're saying that white people wear them to curl their hair?
And black women, no, to get like waves. It's not curls, it's waves in their hair.
So white people want to make their hair more curly?
No, it's not more curly. It's not, but it's not curly because it's not a curly style. Because again, my mom was wearing this style and I would not describe it as traditionally black. I didn't see her hair and I was like, this is like curly black hair.
Okay. I felt like it was another point of contention for me where I already saw the baby hair, saw the grills. Now I'm like, all right, this is just like a lot at this point. That's how I felt. But if I'm wrong, I'll be wrong. I think my overall point is I feel like she's super smart and she's pandering and making references very subtly.
But pandering's not the right word,
to be honest, like I get it, bro. But my whole thing is this:
you're putting a negative connotation around what this girl is doing, and that sucks, bro.
May I speak?
Yeah.
My whole thing is this: when she has built up her fan base, and when she's ready to take the next step in her career, or when there's a controversy in the black community, or she causes controversy, what side is she gonna then lie on? Because in that interview, which I saw and respected, I respected her stance and I respected what she said. But at the end of the day, like you're saying she's an ally of the black community, I don't really see that alliance. And I probably won't see it unless some shit goes down. Where does Sailorr stand when we have another 2020.
But you're
You know what I
talking
mean?
about
like when we have things in our community that are important to us that are controversial out in public.
You're speaking on hypotheticals. You don't know. You're speaking on
I don't know, but I've seen it before.
But I'm speaking on what she factually has done. And what she factually did was big up a James Baldwin interview. When was the last time you saw someone doing that? And that's a very important person for all of these people that are reading about black, white, blue, purple. I don't care, because his ideologies are relevant to the issues that you're talking about.
She's a student of black culture.
Yes, and she's acknowledging that. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I don't get. There's so many people who steal from us and don't acknowledge it. She's literally being respectful.
Yeah, it seems like the references should be a good thing.
I don't get it.
Do you think non-black people are allowed to hold space in R&B and hip hop?
I'd prefer if they didn't.
And that's like
you have a hip hop podcast with one.
To be honest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro.
I mean, that's my preference. Like I prefer if they didn't, because at the end of the day, bro, you're taking up space from somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, and I think like
that discounts the work that people do.
And I think again, what I said hasn't been acknowledged. When shit goes down, is she with us? I don't know.
And
via my past experiences, I don't think so. Personally.
But you're just assuming.
You can't put that on people.
Yeah.
You can't put something like that on people that you don't know and you haven't seen how they've displayed in these. That's a final decision that you're putting on someone that doesn't even deserve it, because the only things that they've been up until this point is supportive of the black community and giving us our flowers. Niggas never give us our flowers. We have to take that shit. You know that. We've literally always been taught you have to work twice as hard as everyone else to get acknowledged. This girl is not even being pushed to acknowledge us or talk about us in these ways. She's doing it willfully. That's dope to see. Again, I feel you. I love and want to support black people more than anyone else. You know, I think everyone is like that with where they're from and their community and their people. I think that's important. I want to buy black owned, listen to black music, all that shit. But I also can recognize the work. So if you're a black person and you make a bullshit R&B song and Sailorr makes a fire one, I don't feel obligated to say that you deserve this space more than her. It's for whoever's making great music. I love John B music. John B worked really hard to be acknowledged in this space.
I guess my question is also too, like, why do you feel like you love the music? You know what I mean? Like that's also my question, because I also feel like she makes a lot of references to black culture specifically. And that's where the pandering comes in.
What black references?
She be making references to everything. She be making mad. She has a song called Itadakimasu.
That's what I'm saying.
Which is a Japanese phrase.
Yeah.
So what does that have to do with her?
She's Asian.
Are you only allowed to talk about
bro, that's not bro. Those are two different cultures completely.
Also,
the way that she's referencing it, I believe that's a Japanese word for like a prayer you say before food.
It means let's eat.
And she's talking about getting eaten. Like, is that respectful? I don't know. That
it's not. It just means let's eat. Like people be saying that before dinner.
It's not deep at all.
But what does the song mean? What is she saying in the song? I'm saying, is she coming in and doing these things in the right way and respectfully? You guys are saying yes.
Yes.
I'm saying no.
But you because you sat back and you said that you listened to the music and you said it's really good. I think that you're choosing.
I think the music is good.
You're hyper fixating on this girl just because she's a target that is easy and in front of you right now. But I think that if there was a better example in front of you, you would be off Sailorr and judging her and then using Sailorr as a good example of how to operate in this space. I think that there's so many people who take from us every day. Mm-hmm. There's so many people who take from us every day. There's so many issues with our art getting stolen and manipulated and not done right in the industry. And it really just bothers me because you know that. And you see it every day. Mm-hmm. And then to take the time to really shit on this girl who's not even doing all the evil when there's so many other bad people. There's so many other situations that need to be brought to light. It's like, why would we waste time picking apart what she's doing? She's not even bad. She's literally just being herself, and there's no ill intent behind it.
I mean, I do think that cultural appropriation has always been like a slippery slope that I've tried to figure out. You know what I mean? Because once you get to the point where you're not allowed to be influenced by anything, it gets a little dicey. So like my question to you is, do you see a problem with Megan Thee Stallion always talking about anime and wearing anime costumes and naming a song Yoshinoa or whatever it is?
No, because first with the song, she put a Japanese artist on there. So that's completely different.
Just like Summer Walker's on Pookie's Requiem.
She was not on the original. It was a remix.
That's fine. That's fucking fine. Oh my God.
We're talking about
semantic, man.
We're talking about different. I would just like to explain that we're talking about different things. I also think that as somebody that grew up, like, I mean, I know it's not the exact same thing because Pokemon is not an anime technically, as someone that grew up playing Pokemon and know a whole bunch of black people that love anime, like I don't necessarily see a problem with Megan Thee Stallion like saying that she likes anime.
Well, no, because
But
I
she
know I know a bunch of white people that love hip hop, and it's the same thing. Because Pokemon is not your culture, anime is not black culture. You know what I mean? So like, it's the same. Is it not?
I don't think this is the same.
Why? What's the difference?
Because I'm talking to you guys about her appearance and the pandering. You guys are talking about an appreciation for like for
Megan Cosby.
for first a TV show.
Megan
and
dresses
second, a
up.
video game.
Megan dresses up in anime cosplay all the time.
Yeah, that's a thing. There are anime conventions.
No. She puts the chopsticks in her hair. She will do everything to pay homage to Asian culture, even without doing the full dress up. She's just always made her love and appreciation for that culture known throughout her videos, throughout the way she dresses, everything. The same way that Sailorr does this. And what she's doing, what Megan is putting people onto about Asian culture is more surface level stuff. Again, Sailorr is putting people onto stuff that is really actually impactful.
Like R&B.
No, like James Baldwin.
Like, I love when Denzel Curry talks about anime and has a song called Zatoichi and like is always talking about Dragon Ball. Like, I think that's dope that somebody with this skill set that's such a good rapper can like pull from something outside of their culture that they're passionate about and like put me onto that, you know? And I don't know. I think it's really cool when people are allowed to pick and choose. Maybe it's a white thing, but maybe that's a white hip hop podcast thing.
Because he literally pointed to black people doing it. Black people have done the same thing that Sailorr is doing to other cultures, and it's fine because they are showing appreciation. I think that the problem when you do this and step into this space with black culture is when you don't do it with care. And when you don't do it with acknowledgement. I see so many people fetishizing black people all the time. We literally have those conversations. She doesn't feel like she's fetishizing us. She feels like she appreciates it. And that's cool with me. Even like fucking Jack Harlow. You know, when I see him move around, I don't feel like he fetishizes black culture. I feel like he genuinely has an appreciation for rap music and black people and black culture. And you see it through the people that fuck with him. You know Sailor's team. The people behind Sailorr are black. The people that Jack Harlow be fucking with, he be fucking with ESTG. A nigga like that is not gonna fuck with someone that's not like actually down to be around and like talk to people. You know what I mean? Like
the people that are on Sailor's team are also responsible for Ian, and they're on the label side. They're also responsible for 6ix9ine. So I don't think those people necessarily care about black culture. To be honest,
you're oversimplifying because you know her direct. I'm talking about like the people who are working with her actually.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm talking about the same people.
And are we out on?
And then if we really want to go to Jack Harlow, bro, like I understand what you're saying, but I also don't care for Jack Harlow in the sense that dude is always trying to be like, I want to be accepted in hip hop, bro. Too bad. I'm sorry, like we don't necessarily accept you the way you want to be accepted. Like you can rap your ass off. You could keep making those like soul sample songs that you be making, but like at the end of the day, bro, like you're not entitled to be accepted in hip hop.
Exactly. So what if this nigga has just been rapping forever and now he's doing these soul sample songs because they're not even going to be big hits. They're not going to be the songs like What's Poppin' that's blowing him up. Maybe he's making those songs just because he genuinely likes the music.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Sure, whatever.
Exactly.
Like
so
I don't really care.
Exactly. So why do you give a fuck about Sailorr?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't really care that he's making rap music. I'm just not going to be like, oh, Jack Harlow's the best rapper. And what I'm talking about with Sailorr has been her appearance and her references to black culture.
Nigga,
that's what I've been talking about the whole time. I literally said the music was good.
She looks again.
Shout out Sailorr.
Shout out Sailorr. Shout out Sailorr. I can't. We can transition this into Cardi B and Rory because that is not an Asian person being in a black space. That is a white person being in this space. That's Spencer's twin. Clap it up for Rory. There we go. White men in rap music. We love to see it. This was interesting because I did want to talk about it last week because as we know, the Knicks are going to the finals. Shout out the Knicks. Shout out all their success in the playoffs.
Yep.
Again, we want Jason Tatum to get better, but you know, easy path, whatever. But last week at the Knicks game, we know it was very high profile. Madison Square Garden was jumping. Everyone was there. And Cardi B stepped out with Stefon Diggs.
Yeah.
And I think that there's always been the rumors about the two. Once her and Offset kind of had beef, there was some like information going around that maybe they were talking to each other when like shit was rocky, We don't really know all the specific details, but now they officially confirmed that they're moving around together at least. That was them stepping out, you know, hard launch. As the young bulls would say, whatever. And as podcasters do, they were talking about someone else's relationship, someone else's business.
Yeah.
The whole time I watched that clip, I was like, who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
about who's dating who and what and why. But here we are talking about it again too, because men on mics. But
yeah, and I thought the conversation was funny, bro. And you know that I'm still relatively new podcast listener, and I've never really given Rory and Mal a true chance. When I see their clips nowadays with that new girl co-host that they got,
Damair's been on.
She's been on?
Yeah.
Okay, see that I'm not informed.
Yeah.
I guess she just wasn't maybe getting clipped up, or her clips weren't making it to my
stepped up
timeline.
recently. She stepped up recently.
But recently the shit I've been seeing from them is fire, bro.
It looks good.
Like I think I'm gonna tap in for a full episode this week because I'm fully in on Rory and what's her name? Damaris.
Yeah.
Mal still is funny to me, but
Mal, what I get, and we'll only stand there for a second. What I think Mal has gotten good at now is he knows the takes that are going to be inflammatory and just leans on it.
Yeah,
he's just like, I'm not even going to podcast great. I'm just going to piss people off.
Yeah,
and just like I don't give a fuck. But Rory and Mal get to talking about the Cardi B situation. They kind of giving her some shit for it. Mm-hmm. You know, they saying that, oh, look at you like kind of like playing the victim of the Offset, doing all this shit, and then you stepping out with a nigga who's going to do you the same way.
Well, I think that was all said by Mal.
Yes. Well, to be honest, I think that's the sentiment I've seen from like 90% of these podcast niggas. Like everyone is kind of saying that takeaway. And
it's saying what takeaway?
They think that like Stefon Diggs is just going to do the same thing that you just went through with Offset. It's going to be the same issues with cheating and infidelity and all that.
And so they're like kicking Cardi's back in for like getting back into a similar situation?
Yes. And it's
that
like,
seems unfair.
Bro, she's a grown ass woman. Niggas is going to date. This does not have to be like Damaris said. Like this is not going to be her husband. They can just have fun.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares again? But Rory kind of got flack because like you said, Mal was doing most of the talking, but he was here and there giving a little bit of pushback, whatever. And then Cardi B gets in the DMs of one of her fans and I guess kind of goes off on it. Mm-hmm. And how she feels about the situation and how it's like, how is this white man talking about all this shit, right? And I mean, we just had a conversation about this, but it feels like Rory is kind of in a situation where his hands are tied because he knows he's a guest in the space. And once people start talking like that and using terms like that, you kind of got to mute up a little bit and think about how you're going to respond. But I didn't even think that it was going to really elicit this type of response from Cardi.
Yeah, and to be fair, I think things did get smoothed over. Yeah. Right, by the co-host kind of being like tweeting at Cardi like, damn, like Rory wasn't even really going in on you. And I think Cardi tweeted back something along the lines of like, oh, okay, it's all good. You know, she just like sent a fiery DM. I don't know. I think it was funny because Mal just like sounded off for like 3 minutes. And I think Rory just had prompted the conversation by being, he said something along the lines of like, are we going to hold Cardi B accountable? Which I don't really know what it means, but I like that one quote got picked up and is the whole reason that she like had this whole problem, you know? I don't have any groundbreaking takes about this. I just think it's a funny situation.
I just think it's funny too because like the way that I see this being taken out of context is crazy. Like, I don't know if this actually happened, but I do feel like again, Mal sounded off for what, like a whole 3 minutes? Yeah. And Rory just said, are we going to hold Cardi B accountable? I'm sure a blog post had Rory as like the headline next to Cardi B with quotes. Are we going to hold Cardi B accountable? You know, like, yeah, I think it's silly. I think this conversation was silly. I think it feels to me, maybe I don't know, feels to me like everyone knows what's going on. You know what I mean? And I think that someone like Cardi B has always been in the public eye. I don't necessarily feel like, you know, making a relationship public is like the best thing in the world. But at the end, I think you know what you're doing when you're stepping out with Stefon Diggs specifically. And I think that the reaction was interesting because I was like, but you already know it's going to elicit that reaction. So why are you going at people that are talking about it? Because that's their job, is to report on everything going on. I also think that she just shot at the wrong person, in my opinion.
She didn't watch the full clip. She definitely didn't watch the full clip. I was going to say the interesting part is going to be when you're at this stage in your life and when you go out on a little date with something new and someone just takes a picture of it and it's like, oh, Shay is dating so-and-so celebrity, you know? Are you going to be strategic with like your celebrity pop-outs or not?
Yeah, because it's a moment.
You know
what I mean? I don't know if that's my bag though. Like,
you're not gonna be at the Knicks game with your new thing?
I'll be courtside for sure, but I don't know if I'm like necessarily like hard launching my relationship like that. Okay. You know, I know it's part of a publicity thing, because you know obviously it's the Knicks game. You know what I mean? They're in the playoffs, but yeah, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I don't have the money. I don't have the resources to even know.
What's the best way to hard launch?
The best way to hard launch.
Because the IG story is like whatever. But like,
lame.
What if you bring them to like a party?
I don't think there's a better way than courtside at the Knicks game.
I think that's the greatest way.
I think that's the best hard launch ever.
It's like, boom, yeah, we're both rich. Yeah, we're here. Yeah, we look good. Like, what do you say something?
Anything where it's all the way in, like not half-assing anything. Like I think a carpet is a good place to hard launch too. Like if you bring somebody new
That's a good
onto
one.
like a carpet at
That's a
like a
very
big
good one.
event or award show.
Is this hard launching? I guess I see this all differently because I'm thinking like hard launch, like, oh, my friends are gonna know. But I guess there is a layer of celebrity where your friends already know, but the general public doesn't know.
Yeah.
So you have to do that. I don't know. Something about that doesn't seem right to me.
It
That you
feels
have to do that.
I mean, I guess. Well, I think the hard launch is also just like there's no perfect way to do it because all it is stepping out for the first time with someone that you cemented a relationship with.
You know what's a good way is music video.
I was gonna say
If you're an artist and
I
you
was
guys
gonna say doing a
collaborate-
song together.
Yeah, do a song together and film a super like sexy music video where y'all are all like on each other and shit. That would be a good hard launch.
Did they? Nah, that's with celebrity. But what about like with regular people? Also, that's kind of what I was asking.
Regular people. I don't know. I haven't thought about it in a little while.
I think that we can maybe get a little serious
Yeah.
for a second. I tried to avoid it.
Diddy.
You know?
the worst place to hard launch.
It's like, oh yeah,
Yo.
at the trial. No, not funny. I guess. Not I guess. Not funny.
Bad start.
My bad.
Diddy is back in the news.
Diddy!
This is a bad man.
Why do we talk about Diddy on here?
Because this is
I'm
what the people
tired
want to
of-
hear.
I'm tired of talking
We
about
gotta
Diddy.
give the people the
Diddy
updates.
and Mad Long. I think that it's relevant because that is an industry person. We are the industry plants.
That's the industry person.
And it's exposing maybe improper deeds in the industry that we can help clean up and make sure never happen again, ever.
We're
feel
like
like-
the neighborhood watch for industry malpractice.
Yeah.
I feel like the information that I'm receiving on the Diddy trial, and maybe that's on me because the algorithm plays toward me. But I'm getting some crazy details that don't even feel like they belong in my head. You feel me? Like
what?
I feel like all the information that I'm getting on this, on Twitter, on blogs, is just like all the sexual stuff that happened. Like,
Yeah, I
don't
want to hear you say what you heard.
I don't want to hear or repeat any of the stuff that I
Well,
heard.
I think that you do have to look at this again. All this stuff is bad. You pray for everyone, all the victims and all of that stuff. That's bad. I think you do have to look at this from a legal standpoint, and a big piece of the legal angle of this is you want to paint this person as an evil guy, as a weird guy, as a nefarious guy. Having in the jury's mind this image of him is going to help get your point across. Because the situation is also, it's not like, I think so much of it has been focused on Cassie, but the trial, he's not on trial against Cassie.
yeah.
Cassie's just the key witness.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people thought it was interesting that she would be taking the stand so early on.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that why she is up there is because the things that happened to her and the things that she's gone through, and obviously the videos that we've seen and what we know about their situation is like she has been through a lot with him that's very graphic. And I think setting the tone with understanding that like, yo, this guy is capable of this stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, you can get convicted of sex trafficking with just one victim. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think what he's on the stand for is sex trafficking, drug trafficking, and a RICO.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's what people are getting confused because they're like, why is this even a controversy? Like, obviously we have the video. Obviously he's guilty of domestic violence and sexual harassment, you know?
Yes.
But he's on trial for sex trafficking.
Mhm.
But I think Cassie's testimony told us everything we need to know. If you are forced into a commercial sex act, that is by definition sex trafficking. And her story it's pretty clear that she was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she talks about the video and that was him basically like, no, you're not leaving, you know? I think public opinion right now has swayed more towards Diddy than I thought it would have because the texts have come out between him and Cassie where Cassie's like, yes, like I'm down to do the freak off. I'm excited about the freak off. I like to do freak offs when we both want to do it, not just you. You know what I mean? So it seems like there are situations when she was down for it, but that doesn't like exonerate him of anything.
Yeah.
Because if there was just one time when she didn't want to do it, and if the freak offs are true commercial sex acts, then he is sex trafficking.
I think to your point, because I think you brought this in the right direction. The reason that I feel so uncomfortable seeing all the sexual act stuff is not because they don't need to like, you know what I'm saying, talk about it in the courtroom. But it's because I feel like a lot of these like Twitter accounts, blog sites, whatever it may be that's spreading information into my phone are focused on the wrong things.
Yeah.
This is a victim of abuse. And I feel like when you draw every single detail and you screenshot every single text message, and you put it out of context, you can spin the story to make it seem otherwise. So that's why I made that statement. I didn't want to be insensitive, but I do feel like you spun it in the right direction where it's just like, bro, like what are we even really talking about when it comes to like her story? We need to be on the same page.
It's cut and dry. I think in the Cassie situation, I think it's just more so getting everything out there, going through the motions. You come out with this, you talk about that, and I think that we know what's gonna happen with him.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a situation where he wins this. I think that it's very graphic and uncomfortable, and it sucks that it happens and that someone had to deal with this, but I don't think there's gonna be too many surprises from what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so either.
I'm only seeing in the court of public opinion.
Yeah, but in the court of law,
exactly.
I think they're building a pretty strong case for sex trafficking.
But that is, and I think that's what makes it exhausting because we do see this shit on our phones all the time. But I think that exposes just a bigger problem with how stupid people are and just the things they want to jump at to fucking big up and support.
Yeah, the online narrative is so like aside from what's actually going on. I feel like people that just get their news on Twitter are like missing the whole point because like they asked her point blank, like, was there? Do you have any knowledge of there being any sort of drugs in the baby oil? And she's like, no. And that was like a huge thing on Twitter. Remember, that was like a whole story. Is they use drugging girls through the baby oil. She's like, that could have just been an online narrative. You know what I mean? Cassie was like, no, I didn't think that.
Yeah, I definitely think my big takeaway is just shut the fuck up about it. Let it play out. Like, you know what I mean?
Who needs to shut the fuck up?
People on their opinions. This is a court case. You know what I mean?
Like, but no, you're always going to, in America, you're always going to have every high profile court case is going to be covered to the max.
But don't fucking like, I don't think come in with these like extra ass opinions, you know? Because then you're like, you get distracted from the point again, you know? Like,
yeah,
can we wait and see? And like actually like react to maybe someone having a good point rather than run with stories that there was this magical drug in the baby oil or just stuff or focusing on like she was down for the freak offs, you know? It's like, bro, like it feels like at a surface level you could just prove why all that shit really doesn't matter, and there's bigger issues here there's way more to discuss and break down with him.
I mean, I agree and I disagree because if you are looking at this from like a legal perspective, I think the whole, Diddy and the whole defense like trying to present this as like, oh, it was consensual, it was freaky and weird and abusive, but consensual, therefore it's not sex trafficking. You know what I mean? I think that's like, because if it's consensual, then I don't think they can get him on that.
But you already knew that. I think there's already enough evidence to prove that he wasn't on that type of timing with her.
Yeah.
And this stuff wasn't. Like, I think that once you saw the domestic violence videos on top of all the other accounts, it was like, this doesn't necessarily seem like the most, if you say no, you're going to be okay situation.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I'm like, there's really, for me, and again, I could be naive. I don't know anything about legal systems. It just seems pretty cut and dry to me.
Yeah.
That, bad things happen to this girl and Diddy's a bad person.
I was listening to a reporter that's at the courthouse talk about it, and she was talking about how like Diddy's supporters have gathered outside the courthouse and we're playing Diddy music all day.
That's psychotic.
I was like, who makes up this group of people? Like, who is like a Diddy supporter in 2025? And what slaps are you playing? Like, if you are a Diddy supporter, like, what Diddy song are you putting on outside the courthouse?
I can't answer that question.
I'd like you to.
I know you do.
Do you have Diddy songs in your phone?
Why do you say that? Like, you may have some songs.
I don't want to talk about
R. Kelly?
The Diddy songs that I've listened to. I don't want to talk about R. Kelly.
Did you like the Love album?
Did I like the Love album? It was all right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You got some Diddy in your phone?
I don't have it in my phone currently.
Got a little bit of Diddy?
Nah. I keep Diddy far away from my phone.
I don't got no Diddy in my phone, bro. I don't got no Diddy songs. Diddy never made a slap.
The WNBA.
Say it.
Say
it.
Nah.
Boo.
Y'all niggas want to bait me so bad. Y'all niggas want to bait me so bad.
Miles lies again, but he did say he was going to lie.
He did say, but like, how great would it be if Miles got on this camera and was just like, yo, Diddy, this song, absolute fire, exonerate the man.
I would just like Miles to speak his truth.
I did
about everything.
Yeah,
I do.
I would like you to not hide from the world. If I'm gonna get on here and talk my truth on the mics every single time, I would like you to as well.
What did I lie about?
You already said at the beginning of this episode you're gonna lie.
Can you pinpoint a lie?
So
can you pinpoint a lie?
That was a lie in itself. If you haven't lied,
I have a lie that he said.
What?
He told me Caitlin Clark wasn't the best player in the WNBA.
I think that's.
But here she is dropping a triple double.
Triple double, first game of the season.
Crazy.
I think that I'm more qualified to judge that than you.
Oh, look at this guy.
I think
Get up on your soapbox. Well, I know that who was the leader of triple doubles in the WNBA last season?
I don't know.
Alyssa, what's her name?
Alyssa Thomas,
Yeah.
but she's not the best.
She had 4 triple doubles last year, and that was the most in the entire league.
Caitlin has one.
And through one game.
All right, so mad people get triple doubles in the first. Regardless,
Who else got mad people did?
I'm saying in the NBA.
But we're talking about the W.
If you see someone get a triple double in one game, does that mean they're gonna get a triple double the rest of the game?
No,
There's
but
mad
also
people who have one
but
triple-
also who do you think led the NBA in triple doubles this season?
in the NBA,
Yeah.
Jokic,
Yeah, and how many do you think he had?
50.
Yeah, and that's a lot more than 4.
Jokic is one of one.
That's a lot more than 4, though.
We're
So
losing
I'm
the
saying
point.
You can't compare
We're
the WNBA
losing the point.
to the
Triple
NBA.
doubles don't make you the best player in the league. The best player in the league is Asia Wilson. Still easily, it's not particularly close at all. But Caitlin killed yesterday. Body shit.
Yeah.
Her and Angel Reese, WNBA season opener. They know what they're doing. The Chicago Sky aren't that good. The Indiana Fever are going to be really good this season. Caitlin fouled the shit out of Angel, and Angel got up like she was ready to beat the shit out of this girl.
Yeah.
And I know it's not supposed to be funny. I laughed a lot.
Yeah.
Angel got to chill, but I also think that, like that's just what happens in hoop,
Wait, what do you mean you gotta chill?
Like you can't be running up on someone after a hard foul.
Nah, I liked everything about that. I think Caitlin Clark knew what she was doing. That was a crazy foul.
That was
And
not
I feel
a
like-
crazy
And
foul.
I feel like Angel Reese got up, acted appropriately.
What are you?
I love to see that in sports.
What are you
little
supposed to?
tension.
What are you
That was
supposed to do
not a
when
crazy
someone
foul.
is wide open for a shot?
But you know, bro. You know these two have a history. So
It's not about history. It's about the basketball play.
Even her response at the end, she was like, "What? That was just a tough foul."
Yes.
Or a fair foul.
Caitlin
whatever
Clark?
you call it.
Yes, that's
Caitlin
what it was.
said that was a good take foul. If you know basketball, you know that you're gonna foul to prevent an easy layup.
Yeah, that's a
I don't
taunt.
think- I don't even think-
That's a taunt.
No, it's not.
It is, bro.
I don't think Angel needed to fall down. I don't think it was a particularly hard foul.
I think that was all.
She got her arms to prevent the layup, and Angel did a little extra at the end, and then got up all hot like Caitlin did something crazy.
I think it's all basketball, even to the point of Angel getting hot. Because I've had people foul me in high pressure games and shit. You know what I mean? You feel a little chippy, so you're gonna naturally go at somebody.
But
and I
a
think,
foul like that, you're getting mad about a
No,
foul like
it was
that,
a- it was
where
a
you have
hard-
a wide open layup and somebody just holds your arms.
if we're in a tough ass game,
Yeah.
and you hard foul me, I'm gonna get up and talk to you.
I guess I just don't even think that was a hard foul.
Also,
No, it was a hard foul.
It was
a hard foul. But that's a good foul.
Yo,
No,
so it
but
was a hard foul.
It's a good
then
foul.
why are you yelling at me,
It's a good foul. You make that play every time,
bro?
You should do that.
Why?
If I'm
Why did you disagree with me if you felt the same way?
Because if I'm fouling you, I think it was a basketball play. I think she should have made that play.
We're on the same page.
I think that was the right play.
We're on the same page.
So I don't think Angel needed to get up and like try to go fight her, but I think she should have just got up and talked some shit.
But I think that's part of the game, though.
she over
To be honest.
I think she was real life mad.
Yeah, for sure. And you see that, bro. At the end of the day, we're talking about it. That's must see TV.
Angel, yes, I think it's great for the league. 10 out of 10 for the league. I hate that it loses the point and takes it away from basketball because what we really should have talked about is how the Fever, I think, beat them by 30,
Yeah, that was crazy.
40. But the
wild.
Fever are really nice. I think the Chicago Sky are going to get better. They have a lot to work on. But yeah, Caitlin versus Angel is always going to be a conversation for the rest of their careers.
All right.
That's our WNBA point.
That's WNBA.
Nothing else for it.
Knicks.
You want to get into the guys?
Knicks in 4.
I hate how everyone's a
Bing
fake.
bong.
I hate how everyone's a fake Knicks fan now.
Why? It's a great storyline. You're allowed to do that.
Lame.
You're allowed to just like hop on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
For sure.
Niggas just hop on.
What would you rather me do?
Hop
just
on the
just
Anthony
not
Edwards
like
bandwagon,
support
yeah.
anyone?
I'm not gonna speak again. You know, you could probably kill me on a sports take. I'm not gonna speak on your character. That's not what I'm speaking on. But since I've known you, you are known to hop on bandwagons. That's not speaking on your character. That's just actions you've taken.
He
Not
does
true
ride
at
a lot
all.
of waves.
That's not true at all. What bandwagon have I hopped on?
Eagles.
Magic.
I did not hop on the Eagles bandwagon.
And the year before, you hopped on what? The 49ers?
The Chiefs. Wait, am I not supposed to root for someone in the Super Bowl? If I don't have a team, am I just supposed to like be like a silent observer?
I've just spoken to what you've done.
I
You can do whatever you want.
Hey,
I'm just
man.
speaking to what you do.
I don't know if you watch a lot of sports, but it's a lot more fun if you have a team, a dog in the fight.
See,
if
here we go.
you just pick
Here we
somebody to
go.
root for.
See what I did? I was like, yo, bro, I'm not attacking your character. This is just what you've done in the past. I'm not saying you are anything. I'm just saying you have hopped on bandwagon.
This is why you don't.
This is why you. Yeah, come at me. Let's go.
This is why.
Let me hear it. Let me hear it right now.
This is why you don't know shit about sports and you don't be watching sports, bro. Is because if it's not the Commanders or the Wizards, you're probably just sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? Because you're not rooting for no one.
Actually,
Because
the Wizards aren't good. The Nationals are good. The Caps won the Stanley Cup a few years back, and the Commanders have had the best season they've had ever so far. So
I think
we actually have a good sports culture in DC. I don't know if you can say the same thing.
I can't say anything about the sports culture in Spokane. So am I not allowed to root for anyone?
I don't know.
I
was just speaking to something you had done.
Hey,
before.
should I just bow out? Should I bow out and not engage in sports?
This is literally like the Sailorr conversation.
I know,
for
that's what I'm
sports.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Am I allowed to like anything?
No.
You're actually, we'll leave it there.
I think I
said my piece.
I think that baseball, that's what you got. I would describe both of you guys in football and basketball as
Passive fans.
I think you're learning a lot more too. Spencer's a surface level fan. I think you're more of a passive fan. I think he knows the.
I think I watch a lot of basketball games.
I think you watch a decent amount of hoop.
I watch a lot of games throughout the whole regular season.
I think you
too.
watch a decent amount of hoop.
Yeah.
I'm not coming at you again.
Wait, I do got a question because you're a Magic fan, right?
Yeah.
But I never hear you talking about them. I know they're not in the playoffs, but just like in general, like the season's pretty long.
I think I talked about them.
Like I don't know. I just don't know. Like.
Do you want me to next season just like give you updates?
I would like
text you like, yo, the Magic won tonight.
I would like everybody to live in their truth on this podcast.
When was the last time you heard Miles talk about the Heat?
That's true. I haven't heard it.
You don't have to make everything about you. You know what I mean?
About me?
No, about the speaker. I don't have to make everything about me.
Okay.
I know our listener probably doesn't want to hear about the Magic every week. They'd probably rather hear about the Knicks.
That's
so
fair.
we can talk about the Knicks.
we can go into the Knicks now. I think that everyone is very supportive of New York having good basketball. I think that across sports, there's always a sentiment that when certain teams are good, the sport is at its healthiest. I think for basketball, you would be foolish to say the whole NBA is not thriving more when the Knicks are good, the Lakers are good, and so on.
Yeah.
These are big market franchises, and I think that when you have legendary franchise mixed with elite players, because that's what the Knicks are putting out on the floor, you have the perfect storm. There's narratives, there's people. It seems like everything around the city is just popping right now, and the Knicks are at the center of it. They have to play the Indiana Pacers on some bullshit. I think that they're probably going to win in 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the Pacers,
Like it's
bro.
it's really a cakewalk. I think that everyone in New York's going to be loud. It's going to be a thing, da-da-da. I am more concerned with the real beef that we see going forward. In the offseason, Karl Anthony Towns got traded over to the Knicks. Dante DiVincenzo, the one Villanova guy, got traded to the Timberwolves.
And Julius Randle.
Julius Randle, obviously, but the Knicks were always disrespectful to Julius Randle. You know what I mean? So I think he just hates them niggas over there. The Timberwolves are on track to face either the Nuggets or the Thunder, depending on who wins. And then they have the opportunity to advance to the NBA Finals as well.
Mm-hmm.
If we get a Knicks Timberwolves NBA Finals, while that's not the biggest names and maybe not the biggest draw from a mainstream perspective, on-court narratives, all the toxic little NBA shit, I think that is going to be peak cinema in the NBA.
It'd be a good series. It'd be a really good series.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm looking forward to. I think Anthony Edwards is going to be the biggest personality on the floor. I think that would be the opportunity for him to step into that final form as an NBA star. I'm saying right now, and if anyone want to take bets, hit me in my DMs, either of y'all too. I'm putting a lot of money on the Timberwolves winning the NBA Finals right now this year before anything else.
Feels like the right moves. I mean, I feel like the Knicks, from what I know, feel like a swan song, right? Like it's like the Knicks have never really had this moment or haven't had this moment in a long time.
Yes.
Like I know a lot of Knicks fans that like continuously like they don't even make it to the playoffs, and when they do, like they get knocked out. What they got knocked out like first round?
Yeah,
last
year they got knocked out because they got hurt at the end.
Right, exactly. So this is a big moment for them. I don't know if that moment is going to carry on to winning a finals. And I think I've heard a lot about Ant and like his like prowess as a young buck in the NBA. So like, I don't know. I would side with you based on what I know.
I hate narratives, bro.
I don't know.
Narratives.
I just don't know why everyone's suddenly switched up on the Thunder. Like, why are we ignoring the Thunder? Like, I'm rooting for the Nuggets. Is that game over? Can you see if they won really quick before that might influence this conversation?
Exactly. Don't half step now.
No, I'm just talking about for like what we can talk about because I
yes.
think I've been transparent. I love Jokic. I'm a big Jokic
Thunder
fan.
won by a lot.
All right, I got the Thunder then. I got the Thunder.
I think that I don't like narrative driven things.
Yeah,
And I think that the Knicks are very narrative driven, fun story. And I think that when we go look at the Thunder, it's Shea MVP. It's Shea's aura or whatever. You know what I mean? The GM is really good, and is this wizard with all the draft picks and everything. But the on-court product is, and the fact of the matter is after Shea, who the fuck is going to shoot the rock in a high-pressure situation? Because I seen J-Dub come up short 5 out of 7 games damn near.
Yeah, you know who's gonna shoot it? You know who loves that moment?
Young cheddar cheese?
Nope.
Who?
Mr. Dort, bro.
Lou Dort. You know
Lou
what I'm saying?
Dort loves
you
the
coming
big
at me
moment.
with Lou Dort.
Lou Dort
And
loves
I'm
the big
saying-
shot. You
and
remember
I'm
last season?
And this is their first time here.
Yeah.
This is the first time the Thunder have been this far. Timberwolves were just here last year. Anthony Edwards has literally been through this moment again and knows exactly how to prepare for it. Talked about it in the offseason, has moved towards it. If you look at the Timberwolves record, the entire back half of the season, they've been solid.
Yeah.
I think they're just better built.
I'm really down for any team besides the Pacers. Like, fuck the Pacers.
Yeah,
But-
fuck the Pacers, fuck Tyrese Halliburton, fuck them ugly ass loafers he wears, all that shit. I hate watching that nigga get this NBA superstar shit off.
I know.
But he's doing it again. Back to back conference finals.
He is that.
crazy.
He is that.
Do you see?
Why are you hating on him?
Have you seen him?
Yeah, I've seen him.
You seen him with the snow bunnies? You remember
He's
that
just
stuff?
corny. He's just corny as fuck to me.
But isn't he another story? It's like this dude really came out of nowhere.
It's
and is
another
hooping.
story. It's another story.
Why are you hating on?
I don't like
why are you hating on
narratives.
him, man?
Tyrese is funny though.
man.
Tyrese fully has like 2 voices too. Like if you hear him talk, it's really kind of hard to listen to him talk.
He has that Karl Anthony Towns in him. Just a little
Oh
bit
yeah,
of
like
like,
you see the one cat.
But
You gotta
Cat
love
is
funny.
mad funny though.
Bro, trying to be New
shout
York.
out my guys in the Bronx. I don't know what he was
The
saying,
Bronx,
bro.
that fake New York accent like he
Yo,
just
that
started
was-
living there.
that was so
He's from New Jersey, bro. What the fuck are you?
Cat is actually one of my favorite players in the NBA.
I think
he's really funny.
I think
He's
he-
hilarious.
I think he's really funny. I think that he's just sometimes looks big and goofy out there. Fuck the Knicks, fuck the Pacers. Eastern Conference as a whole is mid. Heat, get your shit together. Timberwolves in 5 in every round. Anthony Edwards
Damn.
champion.
No, I got Thunder. I got Thunder in 6 against the Knicks in the chip.
You know what I hope?
Hmm.
I hope the Magic have a great season next year.
They're gonna.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yep. Shout out the Wizards. Big sports guys over here.
Aw.
That turned off. Appreciate y'all for watching, man. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.